Hello and welcome to the Recon Cast, a regular topic-based podcast show featuring myself and one, if not both of my sisters, Louise and Vanessa, and within which we are going to discuss all sorts of things from games, movies, TV, popular culture, to the sort of silly stuff you might talk about with your mates, like zombies or time travel and such shenanigans. This will usually be recorded once a month and split up into 3 topics and a compilation. So 4 separate videos that will be posted roughly once a week throughout each month. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, then sit back and enjoy. Topic 1. What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch announcement and the idea of a console hybrid in general? Now that a lot of rumours have been confirmed and it's all out in the open. So obviously the trailer's been released and, we've all seen the things. And there's also, been further rumours and stuff carried on from there onwards. So I'll just say a few key points and stuff. Just, some of the announcements and, rumours and things. So basically, the things that haven't been announced are the price, the battery life and the cost. There's some rumours of it apparently having 4 gigs of RAM as opposed to the Xbox One and PS4's 8 gigs of RAM. This one's just a doozy. This completely, I was just like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. But Skyrim in the advert, you see him playing Skyrim. Mm-hmm. Skyrim is not officially confirmed by Bethesda as being on the Switch or NX, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's all over that advert. It's like, what does that? Why would you do that if it's not even?
Isn't that going to get them into trouble?
It could theoretically, although I suppose it's technically not an advert yet because they're not selling it, but it's more of an announcement trailer. But yeah, it is false advertising. It's like they're being like, oh yeah, we're representing hardcore gamers now. We're getting hardcore third-party games like Skyrim, but you're not. Because Bethesda haven't decided whether they're going to ship it yet to the NX or whatever, and presumably if they do ship it, it's going to have to be the remastered one or whatever. Because what's the point in pushing a 7-year-old game or something, 7-year-old game onto a new console? That would make no sense unless it's the remaster. So. Anywho, also in the trailer, there's a new Mario game that is being hinted towards, which kind of looks like, Mario 64 and Sunrise. It looks like it takes from that more than something like Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. There's also rumours of possible hand tracking or waggle support for the Wii remote, the original Wii. But they've not
waggle
been
support.
You are?
Waggle support.
Like
the waggle controllers.
Type controllers.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were nicknamed the waggle controllers because it wasn't particularly accurate, and you just, waggle at stuff basically, wouldn't you? It's like when you, when you're doing the boxing or whatever you're doing, they weren't the most accurate of control schemes, were they?
No,
but yeah, so there's rumours of whether each one of those controllers, because they pull off and you can hold them separately in your hand, whether they will have, fucking support backwards compatibility for the Wii. What else? And there's also rumours of this weird like a hand tracking thing. So to the side of the tablet thing, there's supposed to be like infrared beams or whatever, and you can do like hand gestures and things, and they will like be registered apparently by them. These are the rumours. It's not been officially confirmed, but they will be registered by the infrared beam. So you let's say for example you're playing rock scissors paper stone, it apparently could pick something like that up and translate that back into the game somehow. So
it's pretty cool. Do you mean rock paper scissors?
What did I say?
Rock paper scissors stone.
you haven't played the DLC yet?
Paper scissors lizard Spock.
I can't believe you haven't played the DLC.
Me and Matt used to play rock paper scissors vomit dead spider eyeball. That's quite fun.
How does that work? How do you know which one's more powerful?
How
do you know which one beats what? How do you know that does vomit beat a rock?
I think we just kind of made. I think we
be
just kind of made
paper,
it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like when I was like 8 or something.
You were talking about
Oh, there was a
8
dog
weeks
poo
ago,
one as
probably
well.
knowing you.
No.
8. Anyway, there's also a further announcement that should presumably clear up most, if not all, of these details on January 12th, because it's going to be out for release at sometime in March. So it's kind of odd that they're leaving it so late to tell everybody about all the details. It's like I've seen a lot of stuff about it where people are saying essentially they should just get any of the bad news, get it out of the way now, so you can start start building people back up to it. Because if you drop the bad news so close to release, there's not enough of a time space for people to forget, because people do forget. They have we all have fickle memories, for stuff that we're interested in. So it'd be better to, in their analogy, they were saying make it a shit sandwich. We've had the trailer; it's mostly been a positive reaction, or there has been some negative reactions, and then just fill it with the bad news, like perhaps high price or low battery life or whatever, and then start building us back up again with the announcements of new, cool features and things of that nature. So yeah, that's basically all the rumours and extra stuff. I'll just throw this out there as well, just for information. The Wii U launched at $300 in terms of price. So whether that'll be a barometer of how much, the Switch will be, who knows. But yeah,
they can't make it more.
I think it'd be kind of crazy, but if you look at it, there's a lot going on there, a lot of tech, a lot of R&D as well. Because it's like you take something like the Vita, which although powerful and fairly for its time and fairly, I wouldn't say revolutionary, but it was a good bit of kit. It was a good bit of hardware. Although not supported well in other ways by Sony, hence why it didn't do so well. But but it's kind of basic. It's the same in principle as the Game Boy. It's just a game thing. It's what we've had all the way through handhelds. Whereas this must have took a lot more R&D and a lot more expenditure. So, you'd assume they want to make money off it. Plus, they've already announced they're not selling it, or they're not gonna sell it at a loss. So, So price, I don't know, but to be fair, if it's over $400, I think they've sunk themselves, because that's just
no one's gonna pay that.
And a lot of the Nintendo audience, they probably skew a lot younger, so they're not going to have as much money. Even if they bother their parents, come next Christmas or whatever, it's still, even then it will still be like $350 if it's or £300 probably here. Whereas if they can hit the Wii U price, I think they'll be onto a winner there. But then I don't see how they could profit off it, because there's unless they separate them, unless the base station that plugs into the TV doesn't come with it, unless that's separate, and they're selling.
Well, I think that'd feel like a bit of a cheat for people.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
because it's the whole hybrid thing is nonsense. It doesn't really have a point, So
it almost seems like their own consoles are going to be in competition with one another.
Yeah, I mean, essentially they're killing.
Mad.
Essentially they're going to kill off the Wii U, and they're going to have to, in a lot of sense, kill off the 3DS.
But how does that make you have confidence in a company?
Well, to be fair,
Wii U is barely any age at all.
The 3DS has been out a fair while, so I think that's fair enough to start phasing that out. That technology in that is like quite antiquated now. The resolution on it, I think, is like 360p or something. It's not a great, bit of hardware at this point in time. But yeah, the Wii U, I think that's only been out 4 years, maybe, is it? But I think that ship has sailed. I think there were a lot of Wii U fans annoyed about it, but I think at this point they've realised that the Wii U's going nowhere, and those that are Nintendo fans are like, well, fuck it, let's just jump ship and get onto the NX or the Switch, as it's now been announced as. So
it looks all right, but I have to say, for me, I'll never buy it unless it's dirt cheap. Nintendo never do enough with titles for me to want one.
The problem for me is that people are going on about all the specs and its power and all the things that it can do. And to be fair, for them to keep the power of its system in parity with the PS4 and Xbox One is smart. But for me, the main reason that this is smart comes down to one reason, and that's third-party support. The reason that the Wii U died is because it had no third-party support. Yeah, PS4 has pretty much thrived purely on third-party support. There's few, if any, first-party games that are really worth anything. Really, you've got your Bloodborns and your Uncharted's and maybe a couple of others, but there's nothing that's really blown anybody's socks off, unless you're a hardcore into whatever that first party seems to be. So they've thrived purely on third party, and I think although the Wii U probably wouldn't have been a success, if it had third party support, I think they would have sold 2, maybe 3 times as many units. So,
but that's something Nintendo's pretty much always struggled with.
Yeah, since I don't know, maybe the SNES, they've just sucked at third party support, really.
And the few games that are their own, they do well, and each incarnation of the games are good.
Yeah.
But are 3 titles going to make me want to buy that console? No.
Well, that's the thing. It's even from the N64 to a degree, although that had quite a bit of third-party support, and the GameCube had a fair bit of third-party support. But aside from at the start of their launch, the Wii and the Wii U had no really significant third-party support, and I think it's those things that, although the the original Wii sold crazy, but that game sold purely on Wii Sports.
That was the gimmick.
It's the only game anybody played was Wii Sports, really.
That's all they know how to do, is the next big gimmick, and I think it gives them such a short shelf life on anything that they bring out. I
think they're trying to... This really is a hybrid in all terms. I think they're trying to mix gimmick with, general hard... Not even hardcore, but core gamer experience or whatever. I think that's what they're really trying to aim at now. And like you were saying, the first-party games, they're exemplary. They really, they know how to make good Marios. They know how to make good Smash.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah, they knock these out of the park time and time again, and they're great games, and they would sell on any system. But unless you're...
That's all, though, for me.
Unless you're crazy into, those... You could maybe say 10 games maximum, And for you, that's fine. If they're the only 10 games you care about, then that's worth a system, But I would say for the average core gamer who's not a Nintendo fan per se, it's just not enough. And they don't necessarily offer the experiences I like. Am I going to see a Fallout on the Switch? Am I going to see, you're going to see a Witcher 3? You're going to see a Final Fantasy?
Only rehashed versions of old ones.
And they usually are inferior versions, So... But yeah, I mean...
I don't have enough confidence in it.
I mean, I just wanted to pick your guys' thoughts. This isn't brand new news. I mean, a lot of this stuff's been out for quite a while, but for probably about a month now or whatever. But I wanted to gauge what you guys think of it and stuff, because
to be honest, I think from watching the advert, I'm actually I'm quite impressed with it. Wasn't expecting anything like that. The look of it. The way it's so easy to kind of click together and stuff, it just seems like a genuinely easy thing to use, convenient. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got a bit of I was like, yeah, good one, Nintendo.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully it is. It's more than just the looks and stuff. But compared to even the Wii and especially the goddamn Wii U, the look of it is just completely stepped away.
Polar opposites. It's more taking a leaf out of an Apple's book or something than a toy.
Yeah. It looked more of like a tablet or a Mac a phone sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Just the sleekness of it all and stuff.
But that kind of worries me in a way, because it's they're aiming at the luxury. It looks much more luxury. So usually with luxury, the price tag comes with that. So it's like,
Well, I think to be honest, I see it as more, not more like luxury, just basics, just back to basics. Do you know what I mean? Not making it gimmicky, like dropping the gimmicks and not focusing on making something all like fun and whatever. It seems like they're aiming more towards like the, you know, older teenager or teenager age and like grown-ups and stuff.
well, the interesting thing about that advert is there was no kids in it, there was no
Yeah,
grannies in
yeah.
it bowling or anything. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
So
yeah.
they
So
clearly
I
are
think like,
trying
yeah,
to
they're
make a
going for a new
statement.
audience with the fun element still. As long as they
Yeah.
stay away from the gimmicks and as long as they can, you know, follow suit and keep up with the games and stuff, then I'm, you know, excited to be a strong word, but I'm going to be interested in seeing how well it goes, and I will be, you know, trying to follow it up and that kind of stuff, because it does, you know, it's a frigging good advert for what they've done,
Yeah,
you know.
it
The
does look
idea in
cool.
itself is great, but they're going to
Yeah.
have to live with playing the long game
Yeah.
because there's no two ways about it. Not everybody's going to buy that at launch.
No,
Yeah.
I think what they'll
They've
do is
not
they'll
put
They'll
get
have the
confidence in people.
And
the
they'll have the
hardcore
loyal ones.
Yeah, the hardcore Nintendo's fans will buy it up straight away. I think initially they'll get their 10 million like they did with the Wii U, but then from then onwards it's
Yeah.
like they need to build on that. I think this system's going to do all right. It's like you said, I wouldn't say excited because, you know, it's like
I'm not going to go out and buy it.
yeah, I'm not going to go out and buy it either straight away. But and the problem is it's like, you know, Nintendo, it's like how many times has it bit you in the ass if you go out and buy a recent Nintendo console? So for me, I'll be super dubious about it. But like you, I quite like the idea of what they're doing. The principle,
Yeah.
it is pretty much what all the rumors that we heard. But
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure. It sounded kind of like a cool idea then. But then when they show it, the way they presented it in that advert was a good presentation because
Yeah, really good.
although like, you know, we'd heard everything about it essentially before it, you know, was revealed.
Yeah.
Unlike the PS4 Pro, which was just completely deadpan and tumbleweed for me, this I was actually like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but there's no way I'm going to be getting it straight away. I mean, next Christmas we'll see, you know, depending on what its original price is and then what it drops to next Christmas, we'll have a look and we'll think about it. But even at that point, it's like, do you want to risk getting bitten by Nintendo? And the thing for me is, I'll say it time and time again, third party support is the most important thing about this. I'd like it to have some sort of parity with the consoles that exist now, not the Pros or the Scorpios, but you know, the regular PS4 and Xbox. I'd like it to have parity with them.
When
but
a
if it
new
doesn't,
exciting game comes out, it should be available on that.
yeah, it needs
You
to have, you know, like we're saying, the Witches and the Fallouts and the, you know, whatever the Destinies. It needs to have those games, even if they don't per se speak to me. They're going to speak to other people, and that's the shit that's going to pull in the core audience that aren't.
Well,
Nintendo
I'm hoping
fans.
that's what they're going to do. I mean, like, when I first heard about it and when you were talking about it and stuff, I was like, oh, God, here we go. Like, it's just going to be another fucking bullshit console that lasts about, you know, there's a bit of, like, excitement over it and then it's just going to flop, like the other ones pretty much do. But as soon as I've seen the advert, I've actually gone, like, I'm quite impressed. But, like, how they've put the advert across... and what they've kind of strived for in that sense, I swear to God, if they haven't upped their game with what you were just saying, then they've just literally just shot themselves in the foot and they need to be buried. Like, it's just plain and simple.
Oh,
Because
well,
they've gone for a different market. They've gone
Yeah.
for a different audience. They've gone for a different look that's more mature and that's on the go and all that kind of stuff. So they have to up the games. They have to do something about that. Otherwise, what is the point?
I mean,
Seriously.
it's smart
The
in a
other
way.
thing for me as well, I love my DS, and I do use it from time to time, but it
They've
fits in
got
my
to
pocket.
phase. They've got
It
to.
fits in
yeah.
my pocket, dude.
That is
That is
true.
big.
That is a good point. But
I don't
it's
want to
true.
carry that around with me.
But I think it kind of it does. I think it aims for like the whole travel thing, not just traveling around, going to the shops or wherever you've got to go, but like journeys and that kind of thing. I also
Yeah.
think will definitely appeal to kind of teenagers. I mean, around here, there's not really a lot to do, so teenagers just tend to hang out. I did it, you know, when I was a teenager and stuff. Kids still do. That's what they're going to be doing. It is,
Maybe.
you know,
The
I
cool thing
definitely
about
think
that
and
is
the
with
screen's
me,
big. The
it's big,
screen
but
is big.
it's not huge. But then again, that's a positive
But
and
that's
a
good for
negative.
me. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it'll look cool. It's like kids are used to tablets and shit, but it's like Lou was saying, you can't really put it in your pocket unless you've got massive
But
pockets.
kids these days, yeah, but kids these days aren't. I mean, around here anyway, like they ain't really afraid to like take a bag out or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
kids these days. Listen to
oh,
them.
suck a left, suck
When
left.
I
But
was
it's
when I
true.
was a lass,
What was it
Look,
we had to
yeah.
tell you about the other day that you didn't know about? What was it? Hayden was speaking about it.
Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah, she
Five
didn't know
Nights at
what Five
Freddy.
Nights at Freddy's was, and we had to tell her, and I was like, "You're getting old. You don't
Where
you don't
have
even
you
know what the kids are into these days."
well,
Hey
I'm older
Nathan.
than you, and
I
I've
found-
known about it for some time. It's
I've,
wicked as well. Scary.
Yeah, I've seen a few bits. I found my first grey hair the other day.
Yeah.
How depressing is that?
Oh, but don't worry, it gets
Was it
worse
a
from here
pube
on.
though?
What stuck to my fucking head? Like implanted in my head.
Yeah, can happen actually. You know,
It can
this is
happen.
completely off topic, but you know, if you cut your hair or whatever or shave your head, if hairs
Don't
fall
you
into
dare.
your skin into a pore,
Don't you dare.
it can actually
I-
grow out from there. So technically,
is
you could
true.
probably grow a pube on your head.
Look, yeah,
Although
I
I'm not a
remember
doctor,
telling you
I'd
this.
just like to say.
No, shut up. I did a frigging course, a hairdressing course, many moons ago. Yeah, and I told you about this, and I remember you going, nah, that's bullshit. Nah, here you are. Like, oh, yes, did you know, fellow listeners?
Yeah, but I
that,
probably saw it
blah, blah,
on
blah, blah, blah.
something that I actually
No,
trust, like
no.
QI or something.
That's why you have to wear certain shoes and certain clothing when you do it. Because it can fall into your follicles. And you can,
Shoes,
grow.
what, like safety work boots, in case you cut
No, but
Superman's
not
hair.
fucking dolly shoes, you dumb nut. Numb nut. Whatever.
Anyway,
Point is, yeah, back to
back
topic.
to yeah. But I completely forgot where we
We were
at
talking
there.
about how they look good and games.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
I mean,
stuff.
it does interest me.
Yeah.
I really like how you can do 2-player co-op with the 2 controllers or the
Yeah,
waggle
If
controllers.
the game
Yeah.
supports it.
You'd imagine a lot would if there's potential for
Yeah.
co-op play or whatever. So because it's a
I'm
good.
quite
it's-
happy to like convince someone else to buy it just so I can have a go at it. Oh, have you
That's
seen
the
it?
way
It's
to do
really
it.
good. You should get it. Yeah, you'll love
That's
it.
the
And then
way.
I'll just be like, okay.
It's not quite the same thing.
Yeah,
is
I
it?
don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. And then like they'll be past their like warranty of like being able to like take it back or whatever. So they'll be like, oh, I don't really. If they say they don't like it, you can just buy it for cheap. It's great.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's part of the thing is like it's like they're stuck in between a rock and the hard place because I want them to have parity with the current gen consoles, but with that's going to make the price really high. And the thing that would encourage me to buy this console is if it was cheap. So it's like there's
If
an
it was cheap though, I tell
there's
you
an
what, if it was
oxymoron
cheap,
now.
yeah, if it was cheap, I'd be feeling right dubious. If it was really bargain, I'd be like, I don't want it.
Well,
Because
it's
something that
probably
looks
going to
that
have
good.
it's probably
Something
going to
that
have
look-
a
Go on.
Tegra X1 chip or whatever, which is like equivalent to the Nvidia Shield and stuff, and that's somewhere in between, say, a PS3 and a PS4 or a Xbox 360 and Xbox One. It's somewhere in that bracket, in the middle.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be on parity, but with the same respects, because of all the fucking gubbins that's going on, all the different things in the R&D that's going into it, that would keep the price lower. But then again, so it's like positives and negatives. But because it's different, significantly different hardware, is it going to get the third-party support, which for me is the most important thing? So it's
That's
like
what it all comes down
it's
to.
really in a weird spot, and we're not going to know till January 12th or whatever. So
That's quite a long way away as well, though. Like,
it's
What
like
a stupid time to launch, just a few days
just
after Christmas.
I think it's because they didn't like the Wii U launched with not very good launch titles, and they reckon that hurt it a fair bit. So this time they want to launch, they want other stuff. They've already got Zelda. I'm pretty sure that's probably nearly done by now, if not already done. But I think they want to launch probably with a new Mario and maybe a couple of other games there or there, within the first few months. So, maybe
At the
like a
end of the
Metroid
day,
or something.
they're pushing this towards towards the whole like PlayStation and like Xbox console. If they, do you know what I mean? They are making it more of like more of a serious gaming sort of thing. If that's the way they're going to do it, then they need to follow. They need to do it as PlayStation and Xbox do it. They can't just make it look and act,
I've
on
heard
the same level. They
arguments.
have to keep going.
I've heard arguments to that, and I agree to a certain point. But then there's another argument: is we already have Xbox One and PS4. They already do what they do. What's the point in a third player doing the same thing? So why not have something different? So
But have like, well, I don't know. It depends. Like, what's the quality of gaming and stuff going to be like when you take it out and stuff? Because I know you're going on about the chips, like whatever it is. But is that still going to be for like, like the same?
Well, my presumption is that it's going to have in the box that's plugged into the TV, the hub or whatever. I think it's not going to have a huge amount of processing power in it. I think what that will do is it'll switch it up to higher the resolution, so it'll probably go from 720p, which is what the screen is on the handheld. I reckon it'll just push it up to 1080, so it'll have a little bit of processing power, but I don't think it'll be like crazy. And the Shield is quite good, which is what this is based off. It's like basically a custom modified version of the Nvidia Shield tablet, and there's also like a gamepad-y thing. And I don't know about the tablet one, but the gamepad thing's it was quite powerful for its point in time, but like I say, it's in between basically, an Xbox 360 and PS4. So, is it going to get supported by third parties? So,
I don't know, but I do seriously think that this is their last go.
It is. I think
if they balls this
I
up,
think
then
they'll go. I think
back.
they'll go again, even if this fails.
They probably will try, but by the fourth time,
yeah, I think
even the diehard fans are going to be like, "See you later."
The smart thing would be to do is, if this fails, is to just become a developer, because all they get, like we were saying, their games are great. So just focus on those games, spend that R&D money into making new games. Hey, here's a crazy idea, Nintendo. Why not make a new intellectual property? When's the last time Nintendo did that? But if they would make fucking bank on selling them on PS4s and Xboxes and PC. That if they sold their games, they would make a lot of money, because there's a much larger audience.
Like the diehard fans, they're not just going to be like simply only have Nintendos. Like, that's not what they're going to do. They're going to have a main console.
No, not
so
all,
can you imagine, like, oh come on, like, I bet they do. But regardless, the majority of them, if they started like bringing games out for like PlayStation or whatever, fans would be going off their tits. Like,
well, put it this way: when's the last time I bought a Nintendo game? I can't remember.
Exactly.
But if it was on PS4, I guarantee I'd own at least a couple.
Yeah, definitely.
Or if it was on PC or whatever, I'd at least own a few. Because like we were saying, they always know how to make good games. That's never been in question. It's just their hardware that's become questionable. They always do something to fuck themselves over every generation. N64, they were making cartridges that didn't hold enough for games, so big games couldn't exist on them. GameCube, they made stupid little discs because little discs are cute. The Wii, although it was a cool idea at first, it was just it was too gimmicky. It didn't pay off in the long run. The Wii U, nobody really understands what that even is.
Or what the point was, yeah.
And now, hopefully this, although I think they're trying to sit in that that place between gimmick and, deluxe experience or whatever, or like a more core experience. I hope it pays off. I think, like we were saying, that it looks cool, but I think it will do all right. I don't think it's going to blow people away, because the problem is that market's getting eaten into, the handheld market, which is probably why they're hedging their bets and making it half, traditional console, half handheld. But I think it's kind of a smart idea to hedge their bets or whatever. And I think I reckon they'll sell about 30 million in the lifetime of this, 25 to 30 million, I'd say, in the lifetime of this whatever it's called. I don't know if you can call
You've
it
got to
console.
give them props for trying. Like, it's hot. Like, to be anything different than the PlayStation and bloody Xbox. You know, they're trying their best, bless them.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to kind of find something different to what we already have that's worthy of buying.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are trying and stuff.
It's smart
Poor
in a
wee
way
souls.
because if you have a PS4, unless you've got a lot of, you know, a cash flow that you can throw around into stuff like that, if you've got a PS4 or Xbox One, you're just going to stick with that. Whereas if you've got a PS4 and you see something that's a bit different, you might think, well, it's different from what I've already got, so maybe why not? You know.
Yeah, but they have to make it good first.
Oh no, for sure.
Like, what? That's, I think, the thing that, you know, they've failed at is the fact that they've gone, right, we can't really compete with Xbox and PlayStation the same way. We'll go for something completely different, except you know, we'll just make it shit and then no one will want it, and then we should keep on to do fucking reboots and try and hard and hard and hard. But it doesn't work. That's the way they've gone wrong. Like, they've just make it shit.
It's focusing on all this proprietary nonsense, and a word of warning to fucking Nintendo: don't do what the Vita did and make your own proprietary memory cards that are super expensive, because that was like a massive deal with the Vita. That, you know, advertise it well, which they've done so far. You know, it needs to have a decent price. It has to be under $400 for sure. You know, it needs third-party support, and it'd be good if it was, you know, there or thereabouts with current-gen consoles. You know, these are the main things that they need to hit for me. I mean, like, all the other cool stuff's interesting and cool. You want to separate yourself from that. That's quite interesting. But, like, another thing they were talking about, they were looking into VR. VR could be an interesting thing because it would be the first... I mean, although it's a massive screen, so I don't know if that would even work properly. But that would be the first untethered VR from a main developer. Because all the others
sounds dubious.
And they've got the controls, and if the controls have got like gyroscopes in them or something, so they can be picked up or something, then they wouldn't even need the tracking per se, you know, or something like that. That would be cool. So I mean,
but you know, from what we've said before, it's questionable whether even the PS4 and such can handle.
Oh well,
VR. Why should a lesser beast be able to?
VR is out in the wild, and it seems the PS4's handling it all right. I mean, it's probably not.
Yeah, for
probably
now.
Better on PS4 Pro, but the PS4's handling it. But yeah, if this system is going to be a bit weaker, you're right. It is going to struggle. But and another up thing of it is the screen resolution. They can't change that. It's going to be regular 720p screen. But, you know, for like a budget experience, it's going to be a step up from something like Gear VR or like Google Cardboard or whatever. You know, so it could be an interesting avenue for them to take up. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't bet on that. That's not the thing to be focusing on. For me, it's, you know, focus on the core audience. You know, focus on the third parties. And sure, if you want to, if you've got a billion gimmicks, I don't give a fuck. As long as you're giving me a good core experience, you can have as many gimmicks as you want. I can choose whether to buy into that shit or not. You know, as long as the baseline good shit's there. So, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. You know, pick your brains, see what your thoughts about it, because we hadn't really discussed it and stuff, and just talk about what we know so far and, you know, how we think it may go. So.